Today we are going to discuss gradient descent in Python using Apple data for the last 1 year, and that's going to be interesting. Stay tuned. Good evening. This entire recording, what we are doing today, is all about the Python implementation and showing you what is gradient descent, how it actually can work in a pre-prediction workshop. So before we predict, here you can see the prediction CSV file, that is aapl.csv. This file is nothing but Apple data for last 1 year. So this is called a pre-prediction file. So this pre-prediction file first has to go the gradient descent. That means the training of the data, and once the training of the data is perfect, that means the error has been reduced drastically, almost to zero, then we can make the prediction and we can go to the testing set. So let's see. So as you see here, we can I just need the as you see here, there are some unknown words here. So let me tell you the unknown words. So first is eta. Eta is the gradient descent amount. How much the gradient descent will happen? The degree of gradient descent. Okay. So it is used as a step size when performing the gradient descent. It comes down. So we are taking eta at a base value of 0, and from there it will go up. So the gradient descent will increasing with time, but that increase won't exceed 20. So if there is too much of gradient descent happens, that means the delta of descent is very high, then we can quickly come to a point where it is local minima. But if it is very slow, very low, then we will take a lot of time to come to the local minima. So we have to come to a middle level, kind of a middle path, where it is neither very high nor very low. It's kind of optimum. That's the concept of eta. Then alpha. Alpha is a learning rate. Again, very interestingly, like human beings learn. This is just a mimicry of human beings' central nervous system. So obviously this also learns. The algorithm learns from previous mistakes and does not repeat the previous mistake once again. So that is why the learning rate also should not be very high, also should not be very low. So alpha is nothing but alpha focuses on, if you watch carefully, you can see in our previous videos the threshold function of sigmoid, that is 1 by 1 plus e to the power minus x or minus z. Alpha is very similar to that. You can see that. Sorry. So through alpha you can see that the learning rate is being shown, and learning rate optimal is around 0.5, but if learning rate is above 0.5 and closer to 1, then it is too fast, and too fast learning means there could be some errors which will continue in the later stage. Fair enough. So let's now see the other parts. DF is the data frame. New DF is the new data frame. POS we have used here. POS is a tagger. It's a tagger in the Python library. We are using Jupyter, as you can see here, and we are not using Spider. But the NLTK library is one of the Python libraries. So this is mostly used in the speech therapy or the text analytics, this particular POS tagging. So similar kind of words, similar kind of phrases it can identify very fast. But here also it will identify similar patterns. Then the function IND function, which basically takes in a list L and it will find the element that is E. So here we have used IND function, and len function returns the number of items that are there in an object. So we have even used the len function. So if it's done already, but I want to show you once again how I have done it. You can use this same code. You can basically copy this same code, and this data you can get from this APL CSV I got from Yahoo Finance. You can also get it from Yahoo Finance. The same date, open, high, low, close, adjusted, close, volume, all the parameters you will get there. Other than that, we are just going to press here kernel, and in the kernel restart and run all. Then restart and run all. So the kernel will start working again. It will take a little bit of time. Then it will start working. You can see here this red color is the This red is our interesting point. This is eta. After eta, what is the value? So very interesting. So first one is 62.60, then 62.63, then 64. So basically that value is increasing. So that value is the accuracy value. So this value of 62, 63, 64, 65, and if I scroll down, value basically is the accuracy value. So as the gradient descent is happening, as the error is getting reduced, obviously the accuracy is getting increased. So I repeat, as the error is getting reduced, the accuracy is getting increased. So we have to just see the red color here, this one, the text in the red color, the number in the red color. Okay, so we will see from 62 it has gone to 65, then 67, then 70, then 72, then 75, like this it is going up. It is going up and up and up. Ultimately, if I scroll further down, around here it is still going on. You can see here, still going on live. It's still going on. Now it stopped. So here it stopped. You can see from here itself, this has become kind of 100. 100 means some people may say it is too good to be true. How can it be 100, exact 100? I agree. Neural network often has this problem of overfitting. Overfitting means too good to be true. So sometimes we ourselves kind of contradict and we ask ourselves this question as a devil's advocate, that why it is exactly 100? Can it be possible something with a zero error and 100% accuracy? Maybe for a shorter tenure it is possible, but may not be for a longer tenure. So this is the proof of gradient descent, where we see that the output is going up to, the accuracy level is going up to 100. So accuracy level started at around 62. In front of you, it has come slowly towards 100. One tip I wanted to give all of you here, this is the Jupyter notebook which will be open during this operation. Let me just put it down. Yeah, this Jupyter notebook screen will be operating in Anaconda 3. Don't close it. Don't close this notebook down during the work on Jupyter notebook, because till the time the screen is open, till the time the screen is there, Jupyter basically will work. This window should not be closed. You can minimize it but should not close it. So that's a small tip. So this is how our goal was achieved. Our goal was to show you the theoretical gradient descent what we have learned, and this is the practical gradient descent what we saw. And we saw that yes, there is practical gradient descent, and which is very interesting indeed, and we are happy for that. So stay tuned for more videos. Like and share my channel, subscribe my channel, like, share my playlist, and more videos will be coming here. So this is a pre-forecasting part. The next part will be coming in recurrent neural network and LSTM, long short-term memory. Both are different types of artificial neural network, where we'll be using the same data, Apple data only, and we'll try to predict. You can use any stock market data, any bond, currency, commodities. So you can use YouTube to understand these videos, because ultimately these videos are all in YouTube. And for the data part, you can go to Yahoo Finance and you can download any data set of any company or any index for that matter, and you can repeat the same codes here what I am giving, and you can use Jupyter notebook and run Anaconda 3 to get this answer done. Thank you so much. You will be able to replicate it exactly the same.